Hello friends and welcome behind the curtain. Last year was busy. I did more last year, I think, than I have ever done in any other year of my life. Most of it I was pretty proud of, so I thought I would round it all up and share it with you. And I know that it's late January, but frankly the past stays where it is and it's not going anywhere, so I suppose it's still relevant. I hope that you enjoy it. I've really enjoyed putting it together. We're gonna go chronologically with this thing, so let's rewind ourselves back to January. Here we go! We came in strong in January. I was recovering from COVID, but I decided that the first thing that I should do on my holidays was build a giant set of wings. This is because I had an album coming out and the lead single would be coming out soon. So here I am making the wings. Started with an aluminium frame, then sewed up some packing blankets for structure, attached them to a little children's backpack, made some feathers, ironed them on, painted them in vibrant garish colors, then took to a regional park and filmed a music video with them. Secret songbird, trill your siren call, your love letter to the ocean, warmest regards, forever and ever and ever. But I wasn't quite done. I was also making a bird hat. I'll explain what the bird hat is for shortly. Here's how I made the bird hat. I needed travel guides also for the music video, and I went to buy some at the secondhand bookstore. Secondhand, they were like $10 a piece, and I really wanted an armful of them, so I instead bought a bunch of Mills and Boon books, which were like 10 for $2, and then printed and pasted some travel book covers. Check out some of these raunchy titles. Anyway, here's what it looks like in the video. I made a lighthouse. That happened too. We're still in January, yes. So this is what the bird hat was for. In addition to making the music video, I also made an accompanying lyric video because apparently it's what you're supposed to do if you're a legitimate artist. So I spent probably a week writing down and cutting out all of the lyrics to this lead single by hand on notebook paper and arranging them just so on green screens and filming them and stop motioning them and compiling photos from my childhood and so on and so forth to create a lyric video. Meanwhile, I'm standing on the sides of the video playing all of the instrument parts that I play in the recording because I played everything on the album and never mind. I'm sorry to report that to this day this is my least viewed video on YouTube. Don't worry, I'm almost over it. Was I still doing Vinyl Fridays? You bet! In fact, we polished off Joan Irma Trading Month, and we started the Abbey Road adventure in January of last year. Woo! The last Joan Irma Trading album, this one is called The Key. To say I'm obsessed with the Beatles would be a criminal understatement. You're asking me, will my love grow? Track 4, side 1, Oh Darling. Oh, also, as a hobby, I do film photography, or as it was historically called, photography. And this is a photo that I took in January of 2023 that I quite liked. Whew, that was a big month. Now February. February was also a big month. Why? Because I had another single coming out, and this time, instead of making giant wings, I wanted there to be puppet replicas of me and my sister, because me and my sister is what that song is about. Here's a very condensed version of me making puppets. I built like a skeleton. I had a go of making a head out of a styrofoam bowl and polymer clay. But, and I know I could have worked this out in advance, if you put polystyrene in your oven, which you need to bake the polymer clay, it will expand.
So the hands were a success, but the head exploded.
So I tried another head using tinfoil as a base, and it was a little bit more successful.
Please don't explode. Godspeed. All the best.
Until...
Family, I finally had some success with this thing. And then I dropped it on its face. Very sad about this.
Womp womp. Nevertheless, I persisted.
I made a head! It's my head!
I knitted some clothes.
Because why do anything by halves? I've got this fabric.
I made a tiny magnetic planet.
Shoelaces. Is that my hand? Today, everyone, I'm making tiny ferns. And just like that, we're in the forest!
A little drawstring pouch, a potato stamp. Then I took just under 1,000 photos of these little puppets moving and made a stop motion video. Here I am doing the blocking and choreography in anticipation of making that stop motion video.
Chemistry makes fools of us again. Falling, how you failed us. Dangerous as I'd never dreamed.
I know. I'm so glamorous. I also moved a bunch of little beads around on a piece of paper and took a lot of photos of that as well so that I could make this.
Where is the how? Pose those sweet wee secrets. How goodbye.
Here's a little bit of the rest of the video.
Twins and twisters, sacred sinners, thrashing out a rhythm of grief and bliss on bone-tied backs and battered fingers. We're happier than ever, a nurse and sadness. I'll be you when you're ready, lady. I'll lie and wait till the fates allow. Then and now, listen for me.
Are we still going with Vinyl Fridays? You bet! We're right in the middle of Abbey Road. Here is a film photo. Whew, it's March. Things are calming down a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I realize this all sounds ridiculous when I'm saying it out loud. I built my third hurdy-gurdy. 30-gurdy. 30-gurdy? Maybe. I'll work on it. I've had a few people ask. I will do a more comprehensive video in the future, but again, here's just a very condensed version of what that process looked like.
Ta-da! Wow, look at that. Amazing. Now I've got all of these vapid comments of mine in the background as well.
finished the Abbey Road Vinyl Friday adventure this month, and I only cried a little bit.
Longing. Ding, 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 boy, you're gonna carry that way. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. What do you think?
And these were the photos I had developed that month. It's April 2023. I'm releasing an album this month. In fact, I believe that album is what's been playing in the background this whole time. I don't remember what day the album came out now, somewhere towards the end of the month. Here's what led up to that point. In honor of this momentous occasion, I decided to break my own rule to not do any live gigs as Fathom, and did a live gig as Fathom. And it sold out! I needed a boost pedal, so turns out you can Google how to do that, and you can make yourself a boost pedal for like $40 as opposed to buying one for several hundred. So I did that. And then on the day of the album release, here is a little bit of that gig. And yeah, of course we're still going with Vinyl Friday. It's a Beatles month.
This one was surprisingly difficult to choose a song. Red album. The Beatles Blue album.
And a photo. Okay, something huge happened in May. I received my first royalties payout for all of my thousands of streams. And that is how I made my fortune. No, this was literally thousands of streams. Because the music industry is broken. What are you gonna do? I played a single release gig with one of my other bands. I think I'm in 3 at the moment. Here's an overview of our Vinyl Fridays for May.
The Bears. Blood, Sweat and Tears 3. This awesome album here.
And on the subject of Vinyl Fridays, I ran out of Beatles albums and I had a lot of requests to do more Beatles albums. So I said to you, the beloved collective, that if I reached $50 in donations to my Buy Me a Coffee page, I would buy a new Beatles record and I'd put up a poll so that you could decide which album I would cover.
Just putting it out there.
And this was your choice.
I'm calling it, folks. Rubber Soul is your winner. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this one.
So we jumped into Rubber Soul and we had a lovely time together working our way through side A.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's all shiny and new. No.
To say about the things that you do.
And I took some photos. June 2023. This one was busier than it looks because while everything that we've already looked at was happening, I was also writing an instrumental chamber suite. At the end of 2022, I had received a scholarship that meant that I was sort of commissioned to write this chamber suite of music on my homemade instruments, which is why I was making the hurdy-gurdy. I needed it for this chamber suite. So I spent the first 4 months of 2023 writing the chamber suite and building a few remaining instruments that I was going to need for that chamber suite. And I spent all of June 2023 recording the audio. It kept me very busy, but not so busy that I couldn't do Vinyl Friday, of course. In fact, I did what I maintain is one of my best Vinyl Fridays, but is also incidentally my least popular Vinyl Friday on the original movie soundtrack for a chorus line.
5, 6, 7, 8!
I get it, the soundtrack's not everyone's bag, but I do really enjoy that episode.
The best of bread.
A white sport coat and a pink crustacean.
It's just a Cuban crime of passion.
Put together some zines because I had a little market coming up. I took some photos. Wait a minute, is that a double bass? Yes it is! I rented it because one of my bands was doing an all-acoustic gig, which meant that I couldn't just bring my bass guitar. I hadn't played double bass before, but I think I made it work. My technique is probably terrible, so double bassists, don't come for me. I'm very sorry. I did my best. July, also very busy. Why? Because there was a video/performance component to the aforementioned chamber suite, so I spent all of July running around with weird instruments, going around to parks, and recording myself playing them on my phone so that I could put together videos to accompany the music. I will eventually post all of these videos, but in the meantime, here's a bit of a teaser. Vinyl Fridays.
Greetings!
this album. August 2023. I finally got to perform, accompanying myself, on video. See? What else? I made a print. Sold those zines that I was talking about a couple of months back at my little market stall. And I checked out a lot of library books on costume and production design because I had decided to do what on reflection was probably a ridiculously ambitious Christmas cover project. We'll get to see that later in the year, but this is when it started. Here's some Vinyl Fridays.
Things were spinning round me, and all my thoughts were cloudy. And I had begun to doubt all the things that were me.
And I took some photos.
There's the mystery children. Where's the when?
Guess what, guys? It's September. I have bought a new camera. Thank goodness I am no longer in potato quality. I'm now officially high res. Another exciting development, we entered the Crosbyverse, which means that we covered Crosby, Stills, Nash, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby and Nash, Crosby solo work, and that took us about 6 weeks. Join me on this condensed recap. My excitement for this is indescribable. Let's go. Deja vu. See that groove? I'm doing my best to translate sound into a visual. 1977's CSN. Graham Nash, David Crosby. If I could only remember my name. They open up. My other band, Isla and the Kindred, released an EP, and I got to play this awesome Jethro Tull bass solo. I enjoyed that. Work had begun on my Christmas cover, which was going to involve 9 miniature dioramas. In September, I made a bunch of rugs from thrifted blouses, a polymer clay bear and a popsicle cradle, a cardboard house, a bunch of lights and lamps and candles, bookcases, jars, utensils. I look back fondly on those days in September, but alas, they were not to last. It's now October. We did some Vinyl Fridays. The Golden Age of Wireless by one Thomas Dolby. We played the Chamber Suite at a pub, and it went surprisingly well. We began the second half of Rubber Soul.
Did you mean to break my heart and watch me die?
There are places I remember. And we continued on the Christmas cover sets. We made a stove, we made furniture. We painted the furniture. We took trees and we made them look more like trees with wool. We painted the house. We didn't like that paint job. We painted the house again. In previous years, the cover had featured some of my homemade instruments and some conventional ones, but I really wanted this one to be all DIY instruments, and I was a little bit short of a drum kit. So I started making a cymbal, and later in the month I make a snare drum. You'll see, I promise. We'll come back to this. here's that snare drum. See? I promised.
Learn but only pray the present is kind to us.
I keep my promises. November was a really exciting month for the channel because the Beatles put out their last ever song. Isn't that crescendo? And we reached our 50th Final Friday episode. So you all requested that I do a video of my top 50 Paul McCartney bass lines, which I had a ball doing. Thank you for that amazing suggestion. I finished the snare!
I got it!
What would a month in 2023 be without listening to some good records?
By the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long.
We recorded the audio for the holiday cover. We took photos of the sets for the holiday cover.
Look at you.
And then we took some photos for fun.
Your smile, all while your voice escapes my open mouth.
Almost there. It's the final month of 2023. Final Friday celebrates its first birthday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you here next week. Have a great weekend! At about the same time, the channel hits 1,000 subscribers. Very exciting. And it's crunch time for that holiday cover. We're making green screen sequences.
I got your strength, your care. I very nearly lived your life as mine.
And we're furiously editing.
'Cause I'm going.
But, whew, we got it out just in time for the holidays.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going. Nothing to get hung about. It doesn't matter much to me. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's alright. Always know, sometimes think it's me.
Photos were taken.
Is it wrong that I'm needing more?
And before my little sister went home, we recorded one last Final Friday for December 31st.
I've got a feeling something good is gonna happen. A feeling deep inside, a feeling I can't hide.
And that's everything. As I said, it was a big year. Thanks for joining me as I took a very short trip down memory lane. I loved making these videos for everyone this year. As I always say in my videos, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. It's fun anyway, but you make it so much more fun. And some of my favorite videos to make came from your recommendations. So if there's anything that you would like to see me do in 2024 on this channel, please let me know in the comments. No guarantees, but if I see something I like, I may just pick it up. That's it from me. I look forward to hanging out with you again in 2024. We got this. High five.